see what the story is. So first of all, I'll have to apologise. My laptop has bitten the dust in the last couple of days, so we're streaming a little bit differently today, and it might be a little bit clunky. Not that it was particularly smooth before, but it will very definitely be very clunky today. Anyway, there we go. All right. So, yeah, like I said, a bit clunkier today. My laptop bit the dust, and it's it's a little harder to do stuff when you're streaming from your tablet and your phone. So, anyway, thank you very much for those of us who have decided to join me today. Those of us who don't know me, my name's Peter. I'm a swim coach in Northern Ireland. I coach in a little club team up in the very north of Northern Ireland, a little coastal town called Larne. It's where you get the ferry across to Scotland. So, we're a very small club. We have maybe 150 members, something like that. And of those, that includes our masters, it includes everybody. I would say we've maybe got 60 or 70 in the competitive side. Good afternoon, Steve. How are you? So yeah, it's a pretty small club. We've been very fortunate that we've managed to do some nice stuff. It's been quite good. We have 2 venues. We train in Belfast. A lot of our swimmers are students in university in Belfast. So we have a 5 lane 25 metre tank in Belfast Royal Academy. So big shout out to those guys for letting me train there. And then we have a 6 lane 25 metre tank up in Larne with a nice view over the loch. It looks really nice. And the ferry, when it goes out, it looks very close actually. It's quite cool. And the sun rises, it's beautiful. It's nice. But yeah, we're a small club. And I'm a level 3 coach. I've been level 3 coach for feels like an eternity now. It's been a while. So I have been very fortunate to have coached a few swimmers now who have gone on to represent Ireland. At the minute, I coach double Olympian and the European champion 50 back row, which is really cool. I achieve a lifetime ambition. So yeah, and listen, all I thought I would do today. Hi guys, I'm trying to do this on 2 different things, so I apologize. It's a little clunky. Like I said, it's never the smoothest anyway, but a little more clunky today. So the plan is that I'm just going to talk. I mean, my wife will tell you I can talk about swimming all day long, so I'm just going to talk. We have just finished trials in the second cycle of the season, so we're just back, and now we've got a little bit of prep to do. I think it's about 13 weeks left before our summer meets, and we got some guys that are going to be racing down in Dublin at the Irish Summer Championships, and we have some guys that are going to be racing in the Mare Nostrum meet in about 4 or 5 weeks time. Going to do 2 of those meets. I think we're going to go to Barcelona and Cannes, and maybe Seti Collie as well at the start of June, middle of June. We have a training camp, which is going to be very cool. We're going to Barcelona. Fingers crossed the electric comes back on over there. But we're going to go to Barcelona end of June, start of July. It's 10 days. And for the first time, my family get to come. And they'll get to see that I don't just sunbathe the whole time. And I have to do a bit of work. So I thought that what I would do is just talk about swimming. Talk about the plans that we have, and talk about what we do in Larne, and what our plans are for the next 14 weeks, 15 weeks in this Irish Summer Championships and the World Championships in Singapore. So I hasn't added, I'm just a swim coach. I have very limited experience internationally. I haven't been on an international team since 2019. Chances of me being on an international team again are pretty remote. So I'm by no means the the fount of any sort of knowledge at all. We just try to do stuff and see what works and see what doesn't work. So I'm going to try and share some stuff on the screen. It may or may not work, to be honest. It definitely won't work on Instagram, so I apologize for the guys that are on Instagram. If you're on TikTok, it may or may not work, but we'll give it a go. That's not actually what I wanted to share, but it's there now, so there we go. So I have some cool little toys that I like to use whenever we're when we planning our cycles. So let's replace that. There we go. So this is a little let's get that the right size, cover my face. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? So this is the last cycle in the World Championships. This is a Google sheet basically that we use to track intensity and volume and meets and training camps, test sets, bits and pieces like that. It's very simple. It's on Etsy if you want to have a look at it. It's a couple of quid, like, and if you're on Instagram, I will post the pictures in the story when I get off this. It's a Google sheet. It looks very nice. Head over to TikTok and have a look over there. Because like I said, I'm on my tablet today, and the Stream Dock won't give permission to both things for some reason. I didn't ask permission for it in a time. Anyway, I sidetracked. So yeah, the red bars at the bottom there. The red bars at the bottom are intensity. So the harder the work, the red of the bar. And yellow is a little bit less intense, and green is recovery. It's not readiness to race, as some people have claimed it to be. People who didn't read the blog post and use the pictures. It's intensity. So that's hi guys. Now hold on, say hi. Yeah, so that's our plan. We got a 14-week cycle. Early season, what we've tried to do is after Olympics, we tried to do something a little bit different just to keep things fresh, and we went with an undulating cycle. So we went 1 week where the sessions were 7 sessions, 2 weeks 8 sessions, 1 week at 9 sessions, and the intensity varied through the week, and it was an undulating cycle. It worked okay. Like I said, qualification for Worlds was done 4 events, multiple events. It's nice. 1500 back roll, 50 and 100 freestyle, and people qualified for the Summer Championship. So the job was done at trials. But what we've tried to do since then is revert back to a block periodization piece. So we work in little blocks. So we're going to go 4 weeks of, or 3 weeks of work, and then 1 week of rest. 3 weeks of work, 1 week of rest, and try to get to the summer with as big a bounce into those summer meets as possible. We want to go to World Championships and basically put on a show, be fast, or go to Dublin with the guys that are going there and be fast. And we also have a guy going to the European Under-23s. So again, we want to go there and be quick. So that's our cycle plan. It's very, very simple. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to do it any other way. So in broad strokes, we have 9 sessions a week. If you have any questions, just fire questions in, because I'm literally just going to ramble on here for a bit. We have 9 sessions a week, and I start our week on a Saturday, because that's the first day of competition for trials. We started on a Saturday. So our week runs Saturday through to Friday. We swim 7 days a week. We do 7 mornings a week, 2 afternoons. It's a double on a Monday and a double on a Wednesday. I don't go crazy on volume, to be honest. I think there's a certain amount that you need to do, but we don't go absolutely nuts on our volume. We would go somewhere in the region of 40k a week, every week. Hi Steve. Yeah, so we go. Hi Marina. Hi Clodagh. Yeah, so we go 40k a week every week, and that's just what we do. The average stays approximately the same. It dropped a little bit there going in trials, obviously, because we tapered. But yeah, 40k a week, 9 sessions. It's just short of 5k a session average. We have the capability where we could definitely go a lot higher than that. But to be honest, I coach a senior group. There's 7 or 8 of them who are over 20, and I don't really see the need to push them that hard. Though I'm not opposed to it, but that's just the way it is at the moment. In the past, I've gone big on volume. Just the group I have now, it's not really necessary, I don't think. Anyway, the way that we structure our week is on a Saturday morning, we go power. We put our suits on, we put some drag on, and we go power kick. Like on Saturday just past, we went 36 25s, broken into 312s, max effort kick with socks on, drag socks, and we cycled through underwater kick, breakout and tempo, and then push and go. And after every 12, we went 2 swims, 1 easy, 1 max effort with no drag. So looking to get a little bit of power in the set on a Saturday. On a Sunday we train long course in Bangor. It's our only long course session. Not only is it our only long course session of the week, it's the only session of the week where we actually have blocks. So we don't have any blocks at all. Sorry, Steve. Just saying that now. Is what an app that is this thing here? Yeah, it's a Google sheet. And if you up in my link tree, there's a little link to an Etsy shop. I think it's like four quid or something, and it's fully customizable. But you absolutely, if you can't find it, drop me a little message and I'll forward it to you. It's not a problem. So yeah, I have lots of little toys. So yeah, sorry. Our Sunday session is the only session we get to dive during the week, and so we use it that way. Part of the group work on 6/100s, and we look to go at front end speed. So from a dive, target pace to 25 meters, then 35 meters, then 40 meters, 50 meters. They only move on when they hit their target pace. So, hi guys, that's what we try to do. With Danielle, we go a little bit differently. Danielle goes 850s on 4 minutes with a tempo trainer in, and it's back end speed at rates. So for the 100 back crawl, her rate is 46 to 47, and holding a stroke count. Her stroke count on Sunday was 34 strokes, so it's 47 rate, 34 strokes. We're not at the pace we want to be at yet. She was going about 30.5. And we want to be as close to 30 flat or better for that second 50. But that's what we do on a Sunday. Monday morning we go easy. It's our only session of the week that's really easy. We go a little bit longer. We have one little set that we do. We just started this week. We go 825s on 30, and they are all fast. And we record time and stroke count, and it gives us our golf score. And we try to make that as the only quality thing on Monday morning. And what we're trying to do is reduce the time. So we take the average. There's loads of ways we can win on this set. Is my thinking on it, that we can improve by dropping our average across the 8. We can improve by improving our golf score across the 8. Or we can improve by being faster on 1. So our fastest one is the fastest one. Is faster. So there's 5 or 6 different ways that we can mark an improvement, and psychologically I think that's quite good. But the rest of the session is like 5k, and the rest of the session is really low intensity. We use heart rate monitors in little polar heart rate monitors, and we let them just keep that heart rate 50 beats below max. Nice low intensity. Monday afternoon, that's our double. On Monday afternoon we go a reasonably intense aerobic piece, but it's not, I'm saying reasonably intense. We go 10 threes on 4, 4:15, 4:30, depends who you are. And we descend 1 to 3, keeping them aerobic. So I don't want it to go too high. I don't want them to tip over into that anaerobic zone. So we want to keep them in that aerobic place. And then take 30 seconds rest. And then we go best effort on number 10. And like again, it's what is the average we can hold and what is the fastest we can hold. So we see a development across our aerobic piece as well. Tuesday morning, this morning we went 1350s. Now we do them off 2.5 minutes. It's quite a long turnover, but they are all max effort. Again, with a tempo trainer in their hat and at target race tempo. So we're looking to go to the best of our abilities on tempo for all of it. And we make a note of where you fall off tempo. And the next time we do it, we want to try to go further. Basically, we want to try and do more. Or if you're falling off at 35 meters on every 50, then the next time we do it, we want to try and go 36 meters to 37 meters. Can you get it to 40 meters at that race intensity, using the underwater kicks, using the breakout times, just being aggressive? I like my swimmers to be aggressive. I like them to get out pretty hard. Yeah, so I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. My philosophy is very simple. Work works, and coach the athlete, not the event. So the athlete comes first. You know, we track. I'll talk about it later on if I get a chance to. We track as much stuff as I physically can, and I try very hard to make sure that the athlete, the person, is paramount. You know, we have to listen to them. We have to talk to them all the time. We have to engage with them on a personal level, and we have to know that they have to know that they are important, and that it doesn't matter what the result of the race is. The athlete, the swimmer, the person is what's important, and installing into them a love for our sport. You know, it's a lifelong career. Swimming is lifelong, and if we can keep them in the sport longer, then we've done a good job. Anyway, Thursday we kick. So every Thursday, they absolutely hate it. Every Thursday we kick, and the first Thursday of every month. It's meant to be this Thursday, but they're racing on Friday, so we'll probably push it back a week. But the first Thursday of every month we go kick club, and the first rule of kick club is that no one talks about kick club. It's a cultural reference that's not appreciated by very many people, to be fairly honest. I spent far too long building a little poster that was a rip-off of Fight Club. For Kick Club, I had far too much time on my hands that day, and every month we have a little leaderboard. The rules of Kick Club are: rule number 1, nobody talks about Kick Club. Rule number 2, nobody talks about Kick Club. Number 3, everybody kicks. Rule number 4 is you kick till you're done. Rule number 5 is there's no fins, and rule number 6 is there's no swimming. So I made a little poster. Like I said, I need to get out more, really, because it's a bit sad. Anyway, first Thursday of every month we do a timed 400 kick, and across our whole club, you have to get under 8 minutes. For the kids, everybody, you have to get under 8 minutes to get into kick club. If you go under 7 minutes, you're in the bronze standard. You get into the bronze lounge. Under 7:30, I think it is, you get into the silver lounge. Under 6 minutes, you get into the gold lounge. Under 6:30 is the silver. Under 6 minutes, the gold lounge. And if you can get it under 6:45, you get a platinum membership. So we have a couple of people who can get under 5:45. They really don't like it. But we rotate. So there's one week we'll do a speed kick set. 1 week we'll do something that's a bit more voluminous. And what we've tried this year, I got an idea from another coach, Curtis, about kicking for time. So instead of kicking 400s 1 week of the month, we'll kick 6 minutes. And you've got to go as far as you can in 6 minutes. And then we'll put our fins on, go 4 max effort 25s, kick, rest 60. And we'll repeat that maybe 3 times. And it means if they can't kick off 2 minutes of a 2 minute base, they can still do the set. They can still kick. They can still engage in it and be part of the group. So that's Thursdays. They don't like Thursdays. On a Friday is a quality set. So Friday we go lactate production, lactate tolerance. Yeah, we go hard. I can't remember. Did I say we Wednesday afternoon? Wednesday afternoon is the hardest session of the week. We do. Yeah. Let's throw up in a bucket at the end of Wednesday night. So get the buckets ready. It's it's hard. And we go something like my favorite set is like 1750s max effort swim. You go 5 on 90, 4 on 80, 3 on 70, 2 on 60, then 1 each on 50, 40 and 30, and you've got to finish the set. That's the only rule. Everybody does 17. Doesn't matter what stroke you're doing, you've got to go. If you don't make a turnover time on number 16, then you're swimming 100 on the end. You got to make 17. You got to do them all. So anyway, that's sort of how we put our week together. So we're going to go like that for 4 weeks, for 3 weeks, sorry. And then the fourth week, we'll keep the Tuesday night session in, Tuesday morning session in, and we'll keep the Saturday power session in. But the rest of it will go low intensity, allow a little bit of recovery, a little bit of adaptation. And yeah, simple enough. Like I said, I'm not a genius or anything like that. So I have to keep things simple. Otherwise I would lose track of everything that we're doing. So this is, I'm going to change that. Did that change? Happy days. So this, I'm going to make that a little bigger. This is how I track my training loads. And this is how I plan my training loads for the 6 week block. This isn't the 6 week block we're on now. This is one from January. I think, yeah, January. So I use Google Sheets quite a lot. I did use Excel. I now use Google Sheets because it's easier to share it around a little bit. It's easier to access it on my tablet. And I track everything. I'm a geek. And I'm I love numbers and I love graphs and I love I'm just a geek. And I'm not a sports scientist by any stretch of the imagination. And I've just had a few questions about, when I did my level 3 course a long time ago, 1995, 1996, the coach who took the course said to us all that we should record what was recordable, measure what was measurable, and if it wasn't measurable, make it measurable, and then record it. And I was like, 25 years of recording so much information on little bits of paper and writing it down and sitting up there on shelves, and they've got books. There's no room for the books really, to be honest. There's 30 training diaries that are like that thick, I was like, well, I'm recording all this, and there's got to be a better way to access it so that I don't have to go back through books to see what things are going on. So what I've done is I've built a little recording tool, and we use an app in the club. The guys in my squad go in and they record everything. They put in their wellness, their sleep patterns, their volume, their perceived rate of exertions, their heart rates, their resting heart rates, and it spits out the information then at the end. And what I do then is I look at this and these grey bars. I'm sorry again on Instagram. I apologize. I'll put it. It's a nice little bar graph. There's like 6 grey bars and a blue bar. Sorry. So I'll put a link to it somewhere. You know what? I'll write a little blog post and I'll put it in a blog post. And if anybody wants to see it, you can drop me a little DM and I'll send you through the screenshots, and you can have a little look and see if you think it's useful. So anyway, yeah, the grey bars are a record of the training load for this swimmer. I think this was probably Danielle, for the last 6 weeks, and as you can see, they're relatively consistent. And then the blue bar is what I'm planned for the next week, and the goal. I failed in this. It might be early season actually, looking at the bars. My goal is to try to, where possible, keep the bars within the bounds of the dotted lines. The dotted lines are plus or minus 10% of training intensity, training load. And I try to not I try to not over push them. I don't want them to go into. I don't want them to go into a hole. Generally speaking, I don't want them to go into a hole. Now, there are always times when we can break the rules. Breaking the rules is fine, okay? As long as you know why you're breaking the rules, and as long as you're comfortable with breaking the rules. And as you can see with this graph here, I broke the rules, and I pushed them beyond that 10% every week for 6 weeks, and then we came down. And I think it was probably early season to try and keep people, to get people fit, to be honest. Anyway, that's what we do. And every week that will happen is that will shift its previous 6 weeks and then the planned week, and it shifts previous 6 weeks, planned week. And that way I can keep track, and I know more or less where they're at and what they're doing, which is always key. It's always key. So like I said, they track their wellness as well. So let me see if I can find what that looks like. Don't know. Let's try this one. Oh, there we go. So this is a little dashboard that it spits out for me. I'm going to try and make that bigger. I'm just going to block my face a little bit. There we go. It's not the end of the world. You can't see me. It's okay. This is Danielle's. This is last season sometime. And on this side, where is it? Over here. On this side here. We have weekly volume. We've got training load and monotony across the top. Trim scores for the sessions. We can see how the sessions were fixed. Her rolling 7-day volume, that was obviously going into trials, I think, at the end of the year. Yeah, it looks like the end of last year. And at the bottom, their wellness scores. So we track sleep and how they feel, their nutrition, their soreness, their fatigue, stress, mood, and their wellness. And a recommended load for the coming week. Now, this is last year. I've changed it a little bit this year because we've managed to put in place a degrading recovery chart as well. I'm going to shrink that down because I like to look at my own face, I think. We've put in place a degrading recovery chart on this year's app, which tracks their theoretical recovery. Obviously, it would be great if everybody could just go on and buy a Whoop, but like I said, we haven't got the money to provide that. So I've had to find a loophole, and this is what I've come up with. Tracking everything to the best of my ability is the best thing I can come up with, making me fully geek-like. Like I said, we track, that's the wrong one, was this one. We track wellness and readiness. So wellness, we want to try and keep the wellness score as close to the green as humanly possible. As if it starts to dip a little lower, then there's a little bit of concern and we have a little bit of a conversation. And the readiness is readiness to train. It's not readiness to race. It's when they turn up to the next session, are they ready to train? And if they're ready to train, then we train. If that little needle tells me that they need a little bit of recovery, then absolutely we back off. Like I said, coaching the person, not the event, is the most important thing. So when we put all of this together, and every week, those that engage, I'm going to say those that engage, because the majority of them don't engage because they don't see, I'm not going to say they don't see value. That's not true. They do see value, but I find that in today's society, kids and young people, they want an instant fix. They want it now. They're not particularly interested in waiting. now, if we coach swimming, the people that we're very lucky because we coach athletes who are invested in their long-term future, which is brilliant. They're better. Better's the right word. They're more committed than the normal people of their age. They are invested in a long-term outcome. They're invested in their long-term success. When it comes to this stuff, the algorithms in the maths that work behind all of this, where is it? Here. This. Like I said, clunky. Those of us who've joined late, I apologize again. My laptop blew up, and I'm now working from a tablet, and it's clunky. It was never smooth. Smooth is not something that could be used to describe me, but it's now clunky. So anyway, this it takes it takes 28 to 35 days for the algorithm to make sense. So I don't send them the information for the first month because I don't want them to look at it and go, oh, I need to rest, because the algorithm doesn't work for 35 days minimum. And they don't want to wait, so they don't get this information, and then what happens is they stop sending it through because they haven't seen a return on it. So I need to make a better decision around sending that out, because I think it's an educational piece. I think if I sent it out to them, they would potentially go, oh yeah, I need to rest now, when that's not what the algorithm is saying. It's just saying, wait a minute, give it 6 weeks and then make a decision around where your training's at and how your training's going and what you need to do. So partly my fault that they don't engage as much as they should. I have 5 or 6 who never miss, and for those guys, I don't listen. I'm going to say I don't dwell on it. I look at it, and if something jumps out at me, then I'll maybe talk to them about it. But I don't look at it and go, oh, here, you're in a really good place today, let's really push hard. I just go in and do the session. So I find it's, for my mentality and for my outlook, the way I process things, I find it really handy for a jumping off point, something that is a starting point for a conversation, and you're able to say, look, I know you say you're feeling brilliant. The reporting that you're putting in is saying that you might need a little bit of a rest, so let's see how you go today, and if it doesn't feel brilliant, we can adjust it. It's not a problem. Or alternatively, I know you're saying you're feeling absolutely terrible today, and that's not what you've reported up to this point, so let's just keep an eye and make sure that there's not something else going on there. So that's why I find those things quite useful. And what we're able to do at the end of every week then is they get this. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, they get a little, this is last year's, like I said, I've changed it this year. This is a little weekly report that they get that tells them how far they've swum that week, how long they've spent in the gym, how hard those sessions were. As you can see, we do a relatively polarized little week. The dark gray here is higher intensity. The darker the gray, the higher the intensity. So half of our week in this week, and that's probably normal, is pretty intense. Again, Instagram people, I apologize. Natalie, I apologize. Clodagh, Marina, send me a DM and I'll send you these things through, and you can have a little look at them and see. Thanks for the question, Liz. I use Google Sheets, and I've built an algorithm through exhaustive nerdiness over COVID, to be entirely honest. I spent far too long. I had nothing to do. I wasn't allowed to work, so over COVID I did a lot of Google searches, and I put together a template, a little Google sheet that just produces a dashboard. Again, if you're interested in any other information, let me send me a wee DM, and I'll send you a few screenshots on it, and we'll see what we can do on that. So TikTok is telling me hit the like button, just tap that, go nuts down there. Apparently more likes mean more views. I don't know, to be honest. I'm entirely new at all of this, so don't know. Hi Zara. So yeah, that's what we do. We started off, we recorded it on paper, and I found that I just lost more paper. It was more paper that went on my shelf, and I just lost more of it. So I I transferred it over onto a Google form, and that was much better for collecting the data. And then, like I say, over COVID, I built a little app for the club, which again, I'm happy to share these things. Um, if I can help people, then as cheaply as I possibly can, I'm happy to share the information that I have. And I don't, like I said, those people who just joined, there are quite a lot of people joined. So thank you very much for the people. Oh, loads of likes. Thank you. That's like, wow. Um, so I'm, for the people who've just joined, I apologize if I'm repeating myself for everybody else. I'm a coach who um, coaches in a small club. I haven't been on an international team since 2019. I've only been on one senior international trip, and that was in 2019. Um, and I have, hi Chloe, you've moved to the dark side, have you? Nice to see you. Um, and I, hi Chloe, there you go. Hold on. Yeah, so um, so my experience in terms of that sort of stuff is around the day-to-day coaching of the athlete. I have very little experience when it comes to the international scene. And to be honest with you, it's highly unlikely that I'll get any more at this stage. But we coach a European champion, so we're doing something right. Like, first European champion from Northern Ireland ever. First one from Ireland in 26 years. Obviously Dan Whiffen won short course European title, but Danielle is the first European long course champion from Northern Ireland. So we're doing something right. And like I said, if we can find if I can find a way to help people, because the thing I hate about all of this, and this is me off at a tangent again, so I apologize, is the gatekeeping, is the people thinking that they have some special power where they can do more than you can. And the reality is I have a very small club, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. All right. And if I can help by providing some coaching tools at as low a cost as I physically can provide them, then I'm happy to do that. So if any of the things that I've put on the screen today look like something that you think might be quite useful, then send me a DM, and we'll have a little look and see if we can help you. And if I don't have it already uploaded on the Etsy or the LinkedIn tree or Linktree or whatever it's called, then I will find a way to share it with you, and you can have a look at it and you can see what it does and see if it's any use to you at all, and see what the crack is with it. All right. But yeah, that's sort of, I don't know if there's anything else I want to show you here. Oh yeah. The other thing that we try and do, again, this is another thing, that I don't know what everybody's governing bodies are like, and ours is okay, I guess. It's a governing body, but there's a perception that we're just a club program, and we can't offer the same stuff that other people can offer. And the reality is, with a little bit of time, with a little bit of effort, with a little bit of dedication, and a willingness to learn, club coaches can do a far better job than performance centers, in my opinion. Performance centers have their place. Listen, performance centers have their place, because there are some athletes for whom that is the absolutely the right place to be. But for some athletes, the absolutely the right place to be is in the club program with a coach who has known them for 5, 10, 15 years, who's worked with them, who's developed with them, who's developed a relationship with them, and they should be absolutely allowed to stay there and to work within that environment. So another tangent. What we do at meets. One more thing I think I'm going to share with you. This. So one more thing. This is what we do at meets. We record everything on a phone, And then we have again another little Google Sheet template where we go in and we put in their video time splits, and it spits us out this, and it allows us to have a look and go, look, here's what we've trained to do, here's what you did, and here's that gap, that difference between the two things, where we can make the biggest improvement. I remember, this is Thomas qualified for European under 23s trials there, so he's racing the 100 freestyle, and I hope he gets to do the 50 free as well, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm going to take that off now. Hold on, how did I get rid of that? There we go. So see what happened when I tried to do two things at once. I completely lost track of what I was talking about. So my plan for this little vlog is to come on here once a week, maybe on a Tuesday if that works for me, and talk about what we did the last week and how it went, what the plan is for the coming week, and not gatekeep anything. There's nothing, I'm not doing anything fancy or anything special. Those of you who watched the first half of the video, I talked about my week. I don't do anything crazy or fancy or anything like that. So we'll have a little conversation. If you have any questions, just fire the questions into the group chat down there, or send me a DM on any social media. I'm Peter Hill, Swim Coach Hill, or WaterWeDoing is the business. WaterWeDoing is the coaching service. But yeah, send me a message anywhere, and we'll try our very best to improve us all. You know, a rising tide lifts everybody, and if in some small way we can help each other to be better coaches, to educate each other, if there's some things that you do that work, share them. If there's some things you did that really didn't work, share those too. You know, because we can all learn from that collective. And I think that's what's wrong with the culture at the moment, is that we're all too caught up in our own self-importance and worried about our own little fiefdoms, when the reality is, if we just do a good job and just do it every day, we don't have anything to worry about. You know, do the best job you can and do it every day. And that's sort of the way I do things. You know, there are days when I am tired. There are days when I am absolutely grumpy, but I'm always on pull side. I never miss, and I do the best job I can for the athletes that I have in the club at the moment, and that's my goal. So anyway, I aim to be here every Tuesday lunchtime ish, and we'll talk about what we did during the week, what the plan for the coming week is, and we'll see what happens, basically. Okay, so I think that's 45 minutes today. I think I've rabbited on long enough. If there are any questions, fire them off to me, and we'll absolutely do the very best we can to answer them. And thank you so much. There's like 2,500 likes. It's stupid, but thank you. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to check out the little videos, the 90-second swim fixes that we're posting on the 90-second swim fixes that we're posting on TikTok and YouTube. Don't forget to check out the blog. It's Swim Coach Hill. We have an Etsy store, which has some really very cheap stuff in it, for coaching tools. Some of the Google Sheets are in there. The other thing we have, let me see, which I'm very proud of now, I have to say, is a book. I've written a book called Master the Water. It's geared at master swimmers, and people who are just getting back into the sport. So it's on Amazon, Mastering the Water. So, and the other thing I have here is a little training diary. Again, tracking what you do is important. Tracking what they do is important. And you can track it on a piece of paper, you can track it on your app, you can track it on your phone, you can track it anywhere you want to, as long as you track it. All right, so what I think is handy is having a little training diary. We have a few different versions of it. Very simple. The kids, lets them track what they're doing, make some notes. So again, if you think that would be a useful tool, it's a couple of quid. I think it's in the link tree as well. No pressure though. We just got to help each other as much as we can. So anyway, I think that'll probably do for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for your engagement and all of the hearts. It's nuts. And like I said, send me whatever messages you can, and I will catch you again next week. I'll see you in the next video. So if I can work out how to end this, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's see.